Welcome, everyone, to the Retro Pool Guy podcast. I'm your host, the Retro Pool Guy. And as always, I'm joined here with the king of bling bling. You know him as the Drunken Beard, but I just call him Nick. How you doing, Nick?
I'm doing great. Got a new job, so been a pretty busy month, so I'm glad we got an easy game in this time.
Easy game, sure.
I mean, you can tell your stories about it, but I mean, for me, whatever.
We'll get into that a little later. If you didn't know, we're going to be covering Castlevania today. And of course, we brought a special guest back by popular demand. He is Normal Andy. How you doing, Andy?
I'm good, man. Who's been requesting me?
Everyone, man. You're super popular.
Oh my god.
I thought
We
he was just
love
the last
Australian
one on the
friends.
list that we were looking down.
I thought I was a seat filler.
We couldn't
Just
get
did a
anybody
watch.
else. We were desperate enough.
Oh, well, at least I turned up.
Yeah, that's the important part.
I'm here.
All right. Well, so yes, today we'll be talking about Castlevania for our season 2 finale. But before we get into that, we're going to have a topic discussion and we're going to talk about hard games. Lots of different types of hard games out there. But first, we want to understand what exactly is a hard game. So,
Yeah.
Nick, tell me, how would you describe what is a hard game? What's hard? What's a hard game?
What do you define as hard? Is in the developer doesn't know how to design and build a game, or it is purposely set as a higher difficulty, or either extending gameplay or to add a challenge to a player. So I think you really have like 3 categories of hard game, right?
So, yeah, I mean, because some games are hard because they were crappily made, like Ghoul School.
Oh my god. I've forgotten about that one.
Exactly.
know.
I was thinking more of like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, where it's like impossible to play because they never finished it and it's just poorly programmed. But they released it and you could play it.
That's more of a. I think that qualifies as a broken game. See, there's
Fair.
hard games. To me, there's hard games, and then there's broken games.
You mean no Cheetah Man or Cheetah Man 2 for you?
Yeah, that's broken. That whole
That's
action.
how I feel
52
about
cartridge.
Contra.
You feel like Contra is
feel like-
broken, or
Yeah, I mean, like, I can't pass the first stage of that at all. It's ridiculous. That to me feels like it's freaking broken.
Now that's a hard game. That one's almost unfairly hard at times.
It's ridiculous. Like the NES version, I'd never played it as a kid, but like
Lucky.
just emulating it now and playing it and being like, what the hell? If I was a kid playing this, I would have given up straight away and just been like, I'm going outside. See ya.
I've seen
I'd
someone
rather ride
beat
my
that
bike
game
than do this
without dying. So
Yeah.
No, I don't believe that.
oh, he's out there. He's out there. He's listening right now.
Beat it twice, but don't get me wrong.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. With the 30 lives, it's not too bad.
Yeah, man, the Konami code really helps with that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, cheating. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I got pretty far with the
fair enough.
3, but it's just at some point it just gets frustrating. But and like,
Yeah.
who wants to shoot shrimp? I'm like, what's going on?
Oh, that's great. So what would you say makes a game hard? Is it just bad development, or do you think there's games that are hard on purpose? Like there's people who want that challenge.
I mean, you have both kind where developer knows what the fan likes. You have games like Elden Ring and Elder Scroll or not Elder Scrolls, Dark Souls
Dark
games.
Souls. Yeah.
Those are hard and difficult, but they're fair. They're not unfair. I think what makes a good hard game is the game is fair but difficult. It's not going to pull.
I think Dark Souls falls into that perfectly.
Yep, and I think also Castlevania and.
I disagree there.
Well, I mean, it is fair, and it's the rules are set. You know what they are.
I'm just bitter.
You're just bitter. And I think that's the main. There's thought involved to make it fair and not, a lot of RNG
process.
or anything like that involved.
What about when I think of hard games? One Mega Man games is something that comes to mind.
Mm.
Do you
Oh God.
do you think those games qualify as hard or broken? Or what do you think of that? Like,
I would
what's your
say
guys'
hard.
experience with Mega Man games?
Yeah, I don't think that's broken. I think it is one of those games that just has a learning curve,
Hmm.
and you could just repeat it over and over and over and over until eventually you just know every little thing about it and you can get through it.
Yep.
That's not broken. That's hard with a learning curve. And once you adapt to that, it's all good.
Yep. Mega Man has it's basically choose your own difficulty as well in the order of the bosses that you take out, because you'll have the weapons to
Oh yeah,
defeat
true.
another boss. So you can play it the hard way, but you don't know that until you play it a bunch of times,
Yeah.
or you go look up a walkthrough. But generally,
Yep.
but it is fair. It has rules, and it's set out. Um,
Mm.
but there's also just frustrating games as well to be
Oh
hard,
yeah.
and that's more of a modern thing for free to play, pay for convenience kind of thing. We're going to make it a
Yeah. Yeah.
long time for you to you know get to the end, and JRPGs have more of you know a difficulty, and it takes a lot of time to grind through things.
Mm.
I don't necessarily think it's generally hard, just depends on how much time you want to put in it.
Just tedious.
Yep. So my take.
That's fair enough.
What do you think, Andy, are some of the hardest games out there that you've experienced? What's some of the hardest games you've played?
Sounds like all of them.
Oh my, yeah, yeah, man. Like I play things on easy. Who's got time for that? Oh God. I mean, the hardest things I've played are the FromSoft games, like the
Yeah.
Dark Souls. I think the one I had the hardest time with was Bloodborne, because that was the one I came into first. I'd never played one before, and I struggled so hard with that shit. But it has that learning curve there, and I didn't know. You just tackle it head on, and you go, "This game sucks. It's too hard," and you put it down for like 2 years, and you come back, and you're like, "Oh, actually, hang on. If I, you know, use get my character stats right, use the right equipment, and use the proper, techniques to fight this bad guy and learn how it works, suddenly it's not so hard." But it's weird. Um, Jeez.
What
Agreed.
about you, Nick? What's some of the hardest games you play?
I mean, anymore it's going to be an online competitive game of some sort, or the FromSoft games, Dark Souls and whatnot.
Mm,
But I play those because they're fair. I like roguelikes. I like being able to restart and learn myself, so I
mm,
like really hard games in general. And I guess that's just my upbringing on Nintendo games. But again, going back to TMNT, Castlevania, Mega Man's, uh Battletoads, grinding those
Yeah.
over and over and over again. It's just kind of like, okay, I learn it and learn it, and it's fun for me, it's fun to master something that's fair, but I know it's like the limitation's me, not the game.
yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah.
So let's go back to something real quick. Andy, you said you like to play games on easy, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, I'll admit that.
No, no. Now, there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. Like, games are meant to be enjoyed, you know?
To me, it's
So,
meant to be a pastime. It's fun. I get that there's the challenging element, but I don't care about that. I just want to have fun. I want to feel like a god.
no, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with playing games on easy. A
Mm.
lot of times I'll play some games on easy just because, I just
You're
want
a
to sit
scrub.
back and shoot some stuff. Whatever.
Get good.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get into that. We'll get in. We'll see
Yeah.
what's good, Nick. You just wait. Just wait, buddy. All right. So let me ask you guys this question. What do you think is one of the hardest games you've ever beat? Go ahead, Andy. You first. What's one of the
Well,
hardest games?
Dark Souls takes the cake. That I mean, that is one of those games, like I just said before, where I picked it up and put it down for like friggin' years, and then finally had to come back to it and learn how to play it, and really enjoyed it. I think that's probably that and Minesweeper. They're the two hardest games. I've never been able to finish
Minesweeper.
Minesweeper.
Yeah.
Who the hell can play Minesweeper?
Real, real quick, let me tell you something about Minesweeper. Okay, I was one of those kids that like pointed and clicked, like I didn't get it right. I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
whatever.
man, that's
But
that's
then
me. That's what I would do.
my brother-in-law is like a math wizard. Okay, this guy was
Oh man,
crazy, and he could literally clear those boards in seconds. Like you would
that's
not
insane.
believe
I
it.
would actually pay to see that.
Yeah, he could do it in a matter of seconds. Like the hard ones, like under a
Yeah,
minute, easy.
like those massive ones that are just littered with
Yeah,
mines.
and he could do it. It was crazy. I'd never seen anything like that. But
How long
anyway,
would it take him to do that?
easy. Like I'm telling you, he could do it in like under a minute. Like the big ones.
That's
I don't.
impressive.
Yeah, it's really crazy. Like
Yeah.
yeah, it blew me away. Like I could
No, I'm not
never
kidding.
keep
That
up with that.
Minesweeper stuff is hard.
Yeah, it is. It's a hard game. What about you, Nick? What do you think is the hardest game you beat in
Oh
your
god,
life?
in my
In your
life.
whole life?
I mean, the most recent one is probably Elden Ring. Obviously, just going like butt naked and just learning all the bosses, and dodging everything. Uh, I think I'm trying to. Ninja Gaiden Black was super hard when I was in high school. I don't know. I haven't revisited that in a long time, but I remember that one being very difficult. I was very happy when I beat Contra. So those are like some of the top ones. Battletoad still eludes me. That game's too hard.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean, I get
no one's gonna
far,
blame you
but
for that one.
yeah, it's just I get up to near that last level, and I'm just no.
You're farther than me. I think for me, Skull Monkeys is
Mm,
probably one of the games I'm most proud of that I beat recently. That game is just ridiculous. And then
right.
Xerxes for the NES, beating that as a kid, yeah, that really made my day. That game is incredibly hard. Those boss battles were
Yeah, that
atrocious.
game's but good. I mean,
Yeah, it's a good game. It's hard. It's
yep.
a
Were
hard one.
they hard because you had to learn how to do it properly, or was it hard because it was just like the designers just didn't have a clue what they were doing, or well, not that they didn't have a clue, but like that it was just like the early days of that kind
No,
of.
it's just a hard game. I mean, the design
So
of it
it's
is pretty
legitimately like
well.
it's taking the piss. Those guys are just making it hard for you to finish it.
Yeah, some of
Yeah.
those bosses they're just really squirrely and heavy.
Yeah,
They shoot a
Skull
lot.
Monkeys, on the other hand, that's just poorly programmed.
Skull
that
Monkeys
that's that
is
is a case of that, is it?
Yeah,
that's monster
it's
game.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
it, it's
Uh,
it's it's one of those that takes time to just play and just pound your head against the game until you win.
You just got to get lucky,
Constantly.
kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. It
Yeah,
Oh man.
sometimes. Yeah.
sometimes.
What? So the designers are basically like, we'll call it this difficulty, but I mean, if you beat it, you're lucky. Whatever. Win-win. Next game.
Yep, basically.
That's
It's
how
good
it felt.
enough.
They didn't care at all about the player in that one.
Oh man.
All right, so I want to do a little game with you guys, okay, and just get your opinion on a few games, okay? So we talked a little bit about how games are either hard or they're broken, okay? So I've got a list here of a few games that I picked out that are notoriously known as hard games, okay? So just real quick, I'm gonna name a game, and then you guys tell me whether you think it's hard or broken, okay?
All right.
Okay.
All right. So first, Ninja Gaiden, hard or broken?
Broken.
I think it's. I'm assuming you're talking about the NES version. It's
Yes.
it's
Yes.
hard. I don't think it's broken.
I have to agree with Andy. I think that game is broken as hell.
That just
Uh,
That is so
throws enemies
broken.
at you at an
Just
unrealistic rate. Like,
yeah,
I
I don't know. I
it,
don't know what happened. They didn't play test that game or something, man. They spent too
no,
much time on those cutscenes.
yet they
yeah.
they made three of them, and then the re-releases are also equally hard though.
Are they all
Okay,
the same difficulty? You reckon? Like,
but number 2 and 3, while they're harder, they don't feel as broken.
they're not
Like, the
broken. They're
first
just
one
more
feels
broken.
really broken. Like, the other 2, though, it feels like they kinda tweaked it and fixed it. Like, it's still hard as hell, but I don't know, that first one, that's junk. That's junky.
Mm.
Yeah, I can't remember how far I got in that one, but there was a point where I just threw the controller down. Was like, "This is not like not fun. It's not fair. It's not fun. I'm not wasting my time on this crap. I gotta go."
But you can climb on walls.
It's so cool. And, that's the thing
That
that
may be
pisses
true,
me
but it's
off
not
so
worth it.
much is the game looks so awesome. Like,
Mm-hmm.
the
It does.
cutscenes
Yeah.
between levels and everything is so beautiful, but just
Yeah.
getting there is like, "The hell with this." All
Oh
right,
man.
next game on the list. Legend of Zelda 2 for the NES, of course. Hard or broken?
Oh. I don't think
unreasonably.
that's broken.
Yeah, I mean, it's not broken. It's just
No.
poorly programmed for, again, like the sword and like the range on it. What were they thinking?
Mm. Yeah.
You have to basically
Yeah.
get close enough to every enemy and hump it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh. And you never come out of those fights
Oh,
without losing any sort of like.
yeah,
Ugh.
yeah, no,
I'm getting frustrated just thinking about it.
right?
Oh
I just,
man,
why?
that's such a good game too. It's
It,
such a shame.
yeah, that's literally my only gripe with it is just the sword length.
Yeah. No, I'd agree with that.
So hard, we would just say it's hard, not broken, just really,
Yeah,
really
Yeah, I
hard.
don't think it's broken. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah.
it's just hard.
Okay. I would agree. Yeah, it's just a really hard game. Really great game. Probably the best
It
Zelda
is.
game. But we won't
Yeah.
get into that. I'll just leave it at that.
No,
All right,
wait. How did I
next
Boo.
just agree to that? I don't
next
agree
on
with
the
that.
list. Too late, you agreed. Moving on.
You heard it here
N-
first.
Next on the list. Alex Kidd
That's
Oh man,
in
no. If I could beat this as a kid, like this isn't hard.
yeah. I mean, I to be honest with you, I never actually beat it because I just got bored with it. Is that a bad thing?
No, no, I can see that.
I'm like, yeah, I mean, I don't remember too much because I like played it a couple times, and every time I'm like, yeah, this game is yeah, now I know why they haven't made another, and they
Well, they
did,
did.
and then
They
no
were
one
they were
made it,
crap.
they made
or
a
no one
few.
played it
They
yet.
made a few Alex Kidd games, and
Yeah,
I don't
They were
know.
never
They're
as good.
all just
Yeah.
suck. It's so
I
hard.
forgot the 3DS one because I was at E3. That was one of their original demoed game. Like they had a bunch of pre-developed games, and they're like, check out all this 3D flying action, and yeah, and you have these like prototype 3DSs that were all chained to beautiful women.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so if you want to steal one of the prototypes, you have to take the beautiful women with you.
Deal.
Okay, so just hard then? We agree? It's just a hard game, not broken?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I slaughtered that game as a kid, so I don't see that as hard.
I'll I'll go with
Okay.
medium, maybe hard because boring.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, next one. Super Mario Brothers 2: The Lost Levels. Hard or broken?
It's
Wasn't released in the West for a reason, was it?
it's just hard. I mean, some of the things feel unfair, but it's a very beatable game. It's very difficult.
A
Hmm.
lot of cheap shots in that game.
Yeah, but it's
I
not
don't have a lot of
broken.
experience with that one, so I don't really know, to be honest.
It
I don't have
was
an opinion one way or the
it
other.
was mainly developed because a lot of people were getting really good at Mario 1 and developers
Ah,
were.
okay, yeah.
So they're like, well, let's just make a harder Mario, and they started developing things like the poison mushroom and stuff like that would follow you.
Yeah.
So they're when they play tested it here, and story goes, this is crap, blah blah blah, give us a game, and then they reskinned. What the hell's the name of that game again?
Doki
Anyways,
Doki Panic.
yeah, Doki Doki
Yeah,
Panic,
yeah.
reskinned that and re-released it here. So
Oh,
and
is that why Super Mario 2 was the way it was?
yeah, so Super Mario 2 here's Doki Doki Panic, and then they actually re-released that Doki Doki Panic reskin Super or Mario 2 back in Japan as Mario USA.
Oh,
And
that's funny.
yep,
Mario USA.
that's they've done that with a couple
What
things.
a
It's like Mystic
smart move,
Quest.
though. I mean, really smart move
Yeah.
to switch that out because, I mean, think about what spawned
Oh yeah,
from them changing it to Doki Doki Panic. Like, we got the cartoon,
we
you
got Shy
know,
Guys.
yeah, we got Shy
Yeah,
Guys.
true.
We
Yeah,
we got
it
so
really did
much out of that. That
expand
was
everything.
such a good move.
And it's not a
Like,
bad game either. I really enjoyed that one.
Oh no, it's very well developed and built.
Yeah.
all right.
It's not broken or hard at all.
No,
We got one more on the list. One more. Okay.
One moron?
One more on.
he's hosting it. Yep.
Ghost and Goblins. Ghost and
Alright.
Goblins.
Ghosts and Goblins.
Hard or broken?
Why not both?
Oof. Yeah. Good call,
So
yeah.
I'm like, it is like if we're talking about the original like arcade kind of version of it, and it's super hard. And
I mean, is there a version that's not hard?
no, I mean that's the trademark though, right? Is that it's just a hard game. It's feels unfair. It is beatable, but like why?
I'm not gonna waste
It
my
goes into
time
the
with that
pile of
game.
games
I
that
think
like
that one's
I
kind of
rented on the
broken
weekend and never got
myself.
away with.
Um, eh,
Like it's just too hard. Like it's yeah, it's broke. I'm gonna
When it
call it
becomes
broke.
not fun and you're sitting there going
oh, you mean when you think you beat the
like,
game, you have to go back and play it all the way through because you forgot an item?
Yep, that kind of crap right there. That's what I'm talking about.
yeah, that's stuff that no way.
Yeah.
All right. So, are we gonna
You know what I
say
would do? Like like when a game was hard, like you didn't want to play it. You just pick up the phone book and start flipping through the phone book and be like, this is much more exciting than playing this really crappy game. And it was free.
my my ever disappointment picking up a bad game from like Albertsons or Blockbuster back in the day, and
Yeah,
renting
for the
it.
weekend.
Yeah, and they're like, you only get one game because it's going to be $12 or whatever.
Better
Back
be
in
good.
'92, can't believe how much that is like nowadays. I'm like, the parents are saints spending $30 for renting a
I
game,
know, right?
basically.
Oh my god.
And then you're like, oh shit, I hate this.
This is a horrible mistake.
Yep.
wasted rentals were the
Mm,
worst?
Ugh.
Oh man.
Terrible. You get your whole weekend just wrecked. It's like, oh, there goes that. This game sucks. You know.
I,
Ugh, I'm gonna read a book. Ugh.
there was a game I remember one time I rented a game from Albertsons for and my N64. Don't remember what the game was. It was like the demolition one, but there was already a saved game on it, and I did not know how to wipe it. And this is 95 or 96 or whatever. I'm like, I don't. The internet's almost nothing. You're not going to go look that up. There's no
Mm.
instruction booklet because obviously it's a rental. So you're like, well, fuck. Is the game beat? I don't know what's going on. So, yeah, that was one of those very sad.
Oh, that sucks. You couldn't wipe it to start a fresh one,
Right,
and
and
so
I
you were
don't
just
know
stuck
where it
with
was in
this.
the game. You get in it and you're like driving a
Ah,
little tractor and you don't know what to do because there's
That's
oh
dumb.
man,
yeah.
That's
So
lame.
that's so bad.
it was so it was almost as sad as when I got Superman 64. But
Ooh.
we'll go into that much later.
Oh, that's trauma.
Sad game. All right. Well, before we get into Castlevania, as I mentioned before, this is our season 2 finale. So I wanted to try and do something a little different this time around, and maybe do a quick year in review, or should I say season review? Would that be more accurate, Nick?
Yeah,
Because we kind of overlap our years. So
yeah. We have anime seasons here. It's whatever the hell we want them to be.
hey, we follow sweeps, man. We start in
Sweeps,
September, we end in the summer. It's just like a real show. We're professionals
right?
around here. Totally got it.
Can confirm. I'm impressed.
All right, so real quick, let's look at some of the games we did here in the past. All right, so we started in September, and we did Jurassic Park for the Super Nintendo, and we had
Oh
Mr.
man.
Filmstock on
Oh,
here.
I just realized this is just going to be a painful like reminder of everything you made us play.
We covered a lot of hard games, didn't we? It's almost like there was a theme this season or something.
The theme was pick a bunch of games that you wanted to torment us with. That was the theme. I don't know, or at least torment me with.
I played along with that Jurassic Park one. That was rough.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
yeah.
Oh,
I did not
I
beat
didn't.
that game. That
Yeah,
was a loss for me. I kept track here of my
yep.
wins and
I
losses.
didn't even
Because
come
I wanted to know.
close.
No, I
Yeah.
I got to like, okay, this game's running at 3 FPS, and I am tired of going back and forth through this stupid maze.
It's taking forever.
Yep.
No saves. Remember that? You couldn't
Yeah, no
save it. It
saves.
took
Oh my
Uh,
god,
ridiculous.
everything. I left my
Uh,
system on so I could come back because of that.
yeah, it's all right. So after that, we had our first Halloween special, and we did
Mm,
Ghoul School for the NES, and that
yeah,
was when Evan Nixon joined us.
that
Uh,
was not a fun game. Also,
man, I beat it though. I beat that one. That was
you're a
That's the one
better.
we
rough.
had to find the towel, wasn't
Yeah,
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. By the towel.
Yep, to
You
whip
you
your
couldn't get
ghouls.
anywhere without that towel. That was
it? The towel was the greatest weapon.
Oh my god.
well. It didn't get any easier in November because that's when we did Skull Monkeys for the PS1.
By the way,
That's
that
one of
was all
Nick's
you
favorite games.
had me at my limit when you're like, now we're gonna do this game too. I'm like,
What have I got myself into?
what? I'm gonna pick something. I swear. I'm going
uh,
to
that,
Rogue.
That was also when we had Derek Laporte on as our guest from the Nemots. Just want to give a shout out
Mm,
to him too.
yeah.
So yeah, Skull Monkeys though, that was rough. I haven't played that game since, and I probably won't.
Or
So
ever again, only to maybe listen to the bonus level music, and that's about it.
I'll just YouTube that.
You're right.
All right. So then in December we covered Xerxes for the NES, and that was when we had you on, Andy.
I don't remember
Aw,
this.
you don't. Certainly, you remember. The
He was too
world remembers.
intoxicated.
Probably.
No, this is propaganda. I don't know what you're talking
He never played that game in his life. He doesn't remember.
about. No, I remember the. I remember actually no, the chick in the bathtub. That's right. Yeah,
Mm.
it's all coming back now.
Oh yes, what a great game. And then yeah, we just made things even harder in January because we covered Battletoads for the NES.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah, but that one I was
Yes,
on board for at least because I actually can get pretty far in that one.
that
how
was a
far can you
lot
get?
for me. That was,
It's like second to last level or something like that.
yeah,
Jeez,
you
man,
can
that
get to like that.
that
What's
turbo
that?
tunnel stuff.
Turbo tunnel.
Yeah, I'm actually
Man,
not too bad at the turbo tunnel. This is
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my god! Even with like being like rewinds and like it's a common theme with me. Even with rewinds and save states, I still couldn't do it.
I actually find it
th-
way harder on emulated devices.
Yeah.
If you play it on the actual NES and a CRT, I find it
Yeah.
much easier because of the response time.
Okay. Yeah, you might have something right. Yeah, that sounds about right.
also, there's a trick to that turbo tunnel that someone showed me or told me when we were covering it.
Yeah, please remind everyone about the
Yeah,
jump.
don't hit any buttons at all when you hit the jumps, the ramps. Just
Just let
just
it take you.
just let
Hmm.
it take you and you'll be fine. I promise.
Yep.
Trust me.
And then learn where the teleports are.
Yeah, figure
Yeah.
that out. That would help a lot. So, in February, we gave Nick a little bit of a break for Final Fantasy Adventure on the Game Boy.
Woo!
Oh, that was pleasant.
Yeah,
That
I
is
enjoyed that one.
that is a fantastic game. Thank you, Nick,
That really
for
yeah,
is.
bringing that one
I mean,
in.
it's
That
just
was
Secret of
really
Mana, and
good.
Secret of Mana is already a good game. So you're like, well, if there was a portable version, there it is.
It's
Yeah, that was very
fantastic.
good.
That's one I really want to finish. Like I'm kind of
Yeah,
ashamed that I didn't get to finish that one
I mean, it's kind of a
'cause
long
it's
game
pretty good.
Mm,
for a Game Boy game. It's quite a decent, decent playthrough.
Really
it's
impressive. Like
impressive. Yeah. Yeah. The music as well.
folks
Like
out
Mm,
there
the
haven't
little.
played that one. You really should.
mm,
Oh yeah.
And then March we did Metal Gear Solid for PlayStation 1, one of my
cool.
absolute favorite games in the whole wide world. We
Same.
had Gary from joypadlad.com on the show. That's joypadlad.com where you can get games and stickers. Yeah,
Joypadlad.com.
If he has any
that would be
VIPs, get
$20,
those.
Gary. $20 for that plug.
$20 for that plug. More gift cards.
Joypadlad.com. Joypadlad.com. Joypadlad.com.
All the plugs. Actually,
That's 60 for me.
I recently bought a couple blankets off of the site a week or a couple weeks
Nice.
ago.
There you go.
Yeah, dude, he's actually got a really good side, man. He's a really good dude.
Mm,
I'm really glad that we met him and stuff.
mm-hmm.
He can keep his lights on now.
Right? My like $8 of profit he probably made off those two blankets.
Oh, good on you, man.
All right, and so yeah, in April we did TMNT 3, the Manhattan
Yeah,
Project on NES.
that was fun.
I mean,
Yes,
you did. I
yes, I
I
did. Somebody played the wrong game.
I played number
Oh
two.
yeah, that's right. I forgot about this.
I'm like, I know it was one of them. I don't remember which one it was. So
Oh,
it,
absolute professionals.
that's us. By the way, I
Uh,
produced this. Remember this, and I don't even know the schedule.
It's a real producer move.
You're right.
Oh man, that was funny.
uh,
Which
that's
one
good
did you
time.
play again?
I'm pretty sure I played the second one.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Did you have
think
fun?
I played the arcade. I think, like remake on the NES, and yeah, of
Mm,
course, it's a very good game. It's just
Yep.
a slightly worse version than 3. That's all.
Oh well, at least you had fun. That's all that matters.
he played it during the show, so it was cool.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Hmm?
All right, and then last month We did Hydro Thunder for the PlayStation 1.
No, that's not what you. No,
What?
we didn't play that.
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
Uh. No, I believe you played Hydro Thunder.
Hey.
Yes. What a good
Mm,
game that is,
mm.
except I couldn't beat it because it was pretty rough. So
I mean, I also had problems just Dreamcast old laser. I did get I have my GCD with memory card installed, but I have to reformat the SD card and give it a go. I haven't actually loaded anything, but because of the whole CD debacle, I had an extra Dreamcast with a bad CD player, so I just pulled the CD player out and popped that in.
Bob's your
nice.
uncle. There you go.
Very
Yeah.
nice, man.
Yes, your producer has many extra consoles, so no one ever fret if you think I am mutilating something that shouldn't be mutilated.
Just got to play the right game.
Right?
Yeah, just play the right game, Nick. You'll be all
No,
right. All right,
too
folks.
much
And
work.
that was our
I'll play what I
season
want.
review, and that brings us to this month's game, Castlevania for the NES. Released Yes, released in 1986 by Konami. You play as Simon Belmont trying to get through Dracula's castle to kill Dracula, of course. I mean, why else would you go in his castle?
Oh,
Uh,
Hang
Dracula.
out there.
I mean, I'd have some wine with them.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be a pretty good vintage. I imagine he's
I
Uh,
got
don't
a pretty
know.
sweet
I don't
selection.
know if that would end very well for you.
I mean, depends how cool you are. To be honest with you, seems like a pretty
I know,
cool guy,
right? Yeah, what if he's into Dreamcasts?
right?
Yeah,
He's not
I'm
gonna.
sure
He's not
that's
I
gonna.
what
mean,
he's
he
doing.
Well, I mean,
definitely
no,
likes the PlayStation, so and I have a lot of them.
he might enthrall you or whatever it is, make you one of his little slaves, just so that he can get to your
Sold.
collection. That's about it.
All right. So, as we do, we will be talking about the music, the graphics, and our gameplay experience, and we will break this game down for you folks. But before we do that, it's time for Did You Know?
Did you know? Did you know? Did you know? Did you know? The pool guy wants to know if you know. So did you friggin' know? Did you know?
That song is
Got
never
me
going to get
aware
old.
that
I love
is.
that song.
Pretty good song. I just play it sometimes randomly for everyone inside of Overwatch lobbies.
Yeah.
Tell him it's Bon Jovi.
That's right. Well, give us our did
Excellent.
you knows because I have some if you don't.
All right. I got some here for you. First, did you know that Simon was originally named Peter Dante, a vampire killer who is the grandson of Christopher Dante?
I did know that.
I did
Okay.
not know that.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I'm learning here.
Pretty interesting, I thought. Also, all right. Number two. Did you know there is another game that was developed at the same time for the MSX2 called Vampire Killer? It uses the settings, the same characters, but the gameplay and mechanics is vastly different. You actually like collect items, and you can kind of. I looked up a video of this game, and it looks so freaking cool. I really want to play it. Uh, but it's the same like graphics and everything, but it's just a totally different game. It's more like Symphony of the Night, but on NES. Or
Yeah,
well, not
Vampire Killer
NES,
sounds
but
familiar.
MSX2. Vampire
yeah,
Killer. It might sound familiar because that's what it was released under in PAL version, and I believe you're a
Maybe.
PAL
Is
kind
it
of
is that
guy.
still a series or is that just a one-off?
I believe it was just the one off. I don't think they
Okay, I
made
might be
like Vampire
confusing with
Killer
something
2.
else.
But
yeah.
you
I
should
think
look it
it's
up. It's for the MSX2. It's called Vampire Killer, and you'll recognize it right off the bat. It looks just like Castlevania. It opens up the same way, but when they get into the game,
Hmm.
it's wow. It's like, dude, that's awesome. Like we got screwed. I want to play
hmm
that.
Is it
well,
better than Castlevania? Okay.
it's definitely going to be more graphical. So if you don't
Oh, MSX,
know,
yeah.
you know what the MSX is in general.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah, yeah.
it's a PC, right? So it's basically a DOS machine that has
Yep.
everything standardized. So yeah, graphics and everything so much better. And yeah, I definitely want to one of these seasons do a few MSX games, including
Hell yeah.
revisiting Metal Gear, and
Oh yeah.
Vampire Killer will be a really good one as well.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
that game looks amazing.
foreshadowing.
Give the MSX some love.
All right. Number 3. Did you know that the arcade game Haunted Castle is based off of Castlevania, not the other way around? I thought that it was reversed. I thought Castlevania was based off of this arcade game Haunted Castle. I had played it on one of those Konami
It's because
arcade
that's on the
collections.
collection, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I thought it looked crappier and older. So I was like, "Oh,
Yeah,
this
man.
must be what Castlevania is based off of." But when I
That's
started
what I
doing
thought
show
too.
prep, no. That game actually came out in like 1987, while
Mhm.
this one came out the year before. So,
Well, there you go.
yeah, I was had it backwards. It's the other way around, which is
I
weird
swear,
because
in that collection, it tells you, like, it's got a whole bunch of information about it. I swear I read that it was, like, based, like, the other way around. It's like one of those Mandela effect things.
something there. Maybe we need to
Hmm.
verify it more, but that's what I found doing the show prep. So, I don't
Well,
know,
so
dude.
yeah, if it came out in '87, that Castlevania definitely came out way earlier than that, right? '86.
Okay.
So
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty interesting. All right, one more for you. Number 4. Did you know they made a versus Castlevania arcade cabinet?
I did not know that.
No, how would that work?
It doesn't.
It doesn't. Got it. All right, moving
You
on.
literally take turns. Like there's no. It's,
It
I
doesn't.
looked it up because I was like, well, how does that work? Like, because you have versus tennis, you have versus Excite Bike, you play these games
Yeah, yeah.
simultaneously against each other. And
You
I'm
throw
like,
holy
okay,
water at each other till
versus
one dies.
Castlevania, what is that? And it's just, no, you just take turns. Like, it's just
Oh, so it's
Ah,
player one
pointless.
goes,
boo.
and player
Yeah.
two
That
goes.
sucks.
I mean,
You
that's like
can, they,
the versus Mario thing that they had going.
Mm,
yeah,
yeah,
it's similar to that. They were just basically throwing them out there and see what would stick and, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
sell. So that was their way of kind of testing the markets.
Well, I'm surprised you didn't bring up the most. Did you know? Did you know Castlevania wasn't released on a cartridge? It
For the
was
NES?
for the NES. It was actually originally
Oh,
for the the disc system for the Famicom.
I did not know that. My mind is blown.
And on top of that, since the disc system and the Japanese NES have an additional voice channel, the music slightly, I won't say better, it's different. So there's
Yeah,
more audio, it's fuller on the Japanese version.
I have
But
to look
here
that
in
up.
the, and on top of that, is it Castlevania that has the save feature? I know, so a lot of the disc versions have save features. Um,
Cool.
I don't know if this one did off the top of my head. I'm just going off memory here. But yeah, so since it's a disc, it was a bit fuller because they had a bit more space, and the Japanese hardware had a bit more audio. But when they brought it over to North America, we didn't have a disc drive.
Was that
So
the only difference, like audio quality, or was like
mm,
any of the gameplay different?
I believe that's the only difference is the
Yeah,
audio quality. That's pretty much it.
I can look that up. That sounds cooler. How
Yeah,
popular was the disc system for the NES?
it,
As like, I mean, in Japan as opposed to the West. It
it
didn't even come
was.
out in the West, did it?
It didn't come out of the West at all. No, it was pretty
Yeah.
popular in Japan because there were when they had the chip shortages in the 80s.
Ah, right. Okay.
The discs are cheaper. They're slightly smaller than a floppy disk.
Yeah.
And they have like yellow Nintendo, but they were like kiosks and stuff where you could actually go down and how we would rent a game. You could just buy another game and put it on your like rewritable floppy disk,
Oh, wow.
and
That's
then
awesome.
come back and play. And there was also, I think, high score things and whatnot they did in Japan, so it was actually pretty popular for a long time. They just started
Yeah.
moving back to cartridges so that way they could standardize and release in the West,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
adding more mappers and stuff, which you could not do with the disc drive, which is important for the bigger games like Super Mario 3.
Mm.
Nick bringing it with the did you know? Hell yeah, man.
That was awesome. Actually, I'm gonna look that up now.
Yep. Yeah, yeah.
I want to hear that. I want to hear that music.
Yeah, it's very subtle. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
it sounds in my ears sounds better. But
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just because it has an extra basically note it can play.
Oh, I like that. I'm into that sort of stuff.
Hmm.
I'm gonna totally check that out now.
Yep. Yeah. Just look Japanese version. Famicom Disk System FSD.
I'm going down that tunnel.
or FDS or whatever. Yeah, FDS. I have two here. So actually, I played the
Oh, wow.
Japanese version while because I have a flash cart for
Sweet.
All right, folks, and that was Did You Know?
it. Did you know?
I learned so much just then.
Now you know, bro.
I know. Now I know. Now I know.
Hey, yeah,
Yeah, we need an
need some
outro.
outro music. Get to work, Andy.
Oh, God.
All right, guys, you ready to break down Castlevania? I
Oh
say
yeah.
let's do this.
No.
Let's get into this, man. All right. Here's how we do it, just in case it's your first time listening. We like to play the games as original as we can. We try to use original hardware, original cartridges, but sometimes it's expensive or whatever. But we don't cheat. No cheat code. Well, sometimes cheat codes. It's debatable. But no walkthroughs, no guides, no internet. We try to kind of recreate how it was back in the day when we were playing these games. And then we will break them down. We'll talk about the music, we'll talk about the graphics, and then we talk about our gameplay experiences. So first, let's get into this music. It's a Konami game, so I set the standard really high for Konami games because they're known for really good music. So
I mean, yeah. Have you been to the casino? They're fantastic.
no, I've never been
Wait,
to the.
Konami has a casino?
Oh my god,
No.
you guys. You realize Konami has shifted from making games mainly to just making like
The pokey machines, yeah.
like just different games for casinos.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
they're known for now.
Yeah,
I was at where was it? Somewhere in Queensland, and they had it was like an RSL, and they had all the little poker machines in there. And I saw a box, and they delivered a new one, and it said Konami in massive writing on the
Yep.
side, and I got all excited. I was like, "Oh my god, what is this?" And then I realized, like,
It's
you're
a
just
slot
saying,
machine.
it's because they've made all the slot machines
Yep,
in
the
there.
Konami
Yep.
is now slot machines. That's and what sucks is they use their IPs for that.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I would have been cool with that. I was sat down at the Metal Gear one,
Mm.
but they didn't have one.
No.
yeah, I would play a Castlevania slot machine for sure.
Oh,
That'd
you
be
guys are terrible.
sweet.
Stop. They don't want to make
Oh,
games
man.
another. They want to make slot machines. I
I
want
would
I
another
play
take back
Castlevania.
everything
Castlevania
I
I
just
slot
want
said.
another
machine.
slot machine Castlevania.
No, that's a fair argument there. I take back everything I just said.
All right, Nick. Well, tell us how you feel about the music in the game.
I mean, it's Castlevania. It's one of the most iconic soundtracks from the NES. Speaking of which, one of my first bands I've ever seen in person here out of Phoenix, when I was like 17 or 16, they're called the Mini Bosses, and they
Oh, cool.
redid a bunch of video game music that's very like metal inspired, and that's what's currently what played at the intro, and I'm going to be playing on the outro as well because I like the guys
Nice.
so much. I plug them. I don't have permission to use their music, but I mean I'll buy you guys a beer. I saw you guys at
Who's
the Yuck
getting
Attack
paid?
group, yeah, right? Yeah, no,
Yeah, no, I
they're
think
they're
as long as we're
cool
not
guys.
making money off of it, we'll be fine. You know
Yeah.
what I
Wait,
mean?
wait,
We're
did we
not.
make money? I'm in debt.
We'll talk about contracts later. Now's not the time. All right, Andy, give me your thoughts on the music.
I don't know. Like Nick said, it's iconic. Like it's one of those rolling soundtracks where everything from the start right through is just consistently good, and it's one of those things that really sort of helps you get sucked into the game. Is like every time you change the little levels, it changes the music with it, and depending with the boss fights, things like that, it can be frantic, it can be rocking and solid, and just like really makes you like it just adds that element to where you're just sort of going, oh shit, I gotta jump, oh god, I gotta attack, attack, attack. You know what I mean? It's really awesome, and some of the stuff just gets stuck in your head, man. Like
Oh yeah.
especially when you die. Oh my god.
Do
Yeah,
you
we
know
heard
that
that a lot.
the best song it plays,
I play that one in my car.
right?
So,
Again, no lie, I actually played a lot of the mini bosses Castlevania in the car because it
Yeah, that's
slaps.
I
awesome.
believe it.
Hell yeah. Yep.
So I really like the music too. Stage 7 music is my favorite music. I really like that one. It's also kind of when the game kicks it into high gear a little bit on the difficulty.
Gets a bit
Really,
frantic.
yeah, it gets really good. So the only criticism I have on the music is the Dracula boss battle music kind of weak compared to the rest
Wow.
of the game.
Mister,
I actually
this
haven't
game is
heard that
so
music.
hard. Oh god, no, I'll never beat it.
I've never heard that music because I've never made it that far.
Yeah, the Dracula music, could have. It's not bad, but it could have been better. Like the rest, you know how there's always like one weak track on an album. You got an album with 10 songs, and there's maybe that one song that's like
It's the
all
filler
right,
track,
but
yeah.
it's
Eh,
skippable.
Yeah.
That's
yeah. So they
boss
knew
battle
you would
music
be
for
playing it
Dracula.
in 37 years and wanted to disappoint you when you finally beat it.
Oh
Hey,
man,
the
that's
ending is
funny.
great. It's just the music during the battle that sucks. All right, they could have done better, but that's my only critique. The rest of the music's badass. I love.
Hmm.
All right, let's get in. Let's get into the graphics. Okay, so
Yeah. Move on. Tired of getting roasted.
my opinions are my own. I'll die on that hill. Uh, the graphics, Nick. Tell me what you think.
I mean, they're very good. I mean, you got to remember this is 3 years after the release of the NES, and finally when people figured out, oh, we can make good games. So yeah, no, I think it looks great. It holds up today. I mean, it doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, for basically a U.S. release title, that's great graphics.
Mm.
I would agree. Andy, how about you? What do you say?
Yeah. Some of the best there is on that system. Like it's
Mm.
impressive
Especially
for
for a
a late
release
big
title,
console.
basically,
Oh my
right?
god, yeah, yeah. And like the boss sprites and things like that.
Yeah.
They're pretty like they're pretty scary. It does a good job of actually being scary,
Um,
for its time, I
the
think.
the bosses are very imposing.
Yeah.
In the game.
Especially Death. Like
Oh
Death
yeah,
looks
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
rocking.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I really like the backgrounds in this game. I think
oh
they did
yeah.
Yeah,
a
yeah. Oh,
great
especially
job
when
with
you're
the
climbing the
background.
castle. Mm,
It's so good. Like
yeah.
when you're walking through Death's hallway and it looks like you could tell they wanted to do more. Like you could
Yeah.
tell because
I
there's
know.
these little spots like where there's like they look like portraits like where pictures would
Yeah.
be on the hallway, but they're just blacked out. You could tell they really wanted
Yeah.
to put like some shit in there,
Well, they couldn't
But
because they were flinging too many things at you, taking up all
Right.
the memory.
right.
Actually, yeah, I'm kind of wondering since it was kind of a release title with limited, like with basic mappers. I wonder if they just ran out of space because of all the textures and whatnot. Because the
Mm,
game is very short. There's not that many levels, not that many bosses. So
mm,
like they spent a lot of the asset on design, which I think everyone appreciates.
yeah. Do you reckon that because it's set at night as well, like when you're in the sort of outdoor areas and the sky's kind of black, that kind of saves on memory and things like that as well?
No, yeah, definitely it's going to save you on your storage because you only have so many bitmaps you can save everywhere and
Yeah. So they
oh,
can fling more enemies at you because it's all supposed to
exactly.
be like black patches that aren't being taken up by colors and things like that.
Well, enemies are going to be sprites, so that's a
Well,
limitation of the console.
there you go.
Excellent. Excellent. Now, getting to my favorite part, the gameplay.
Mm.
Which of you? Who wants to go first? Who wants to talk about their uh, gameplay experience? I'm going to throw it out. Who wants to go first?
Depends what kind of story you want to hear. Do you want to
Yeah.
hear a story about someone who had a miserable time, couldn't finish it, and curses the day that he played it? Or do you want to hear something else?
Andy, go first.
Well, I played the Switch collection, and I've got the little Nintendo licensed, like Nintendo NES Switch controllers, and there is a tiny little bit of latency on that, and you can't actually plug a cable into it. So I suffered through this game with a microsecond of latency, and I already struggled with it as it was. I got as far as death. I absolutely could not beat death. But in terms of gameplay, I did enjoy it. It is a fun side scroller. Like, as frustrating as it can be in certain parts, when you learn that curve of where to jump, how to jump, and what not to do, and things like that, it is a satisfying game. And I actually, as much as I whinge about it, I had a good time. I just wish I could have beaten death. That's all.
Don't we all?
Yeah. There's certain strategies to it that I just didn't master. You know, just
Yeah,
didn't know.
no. The game, the controls are super tight. I personally played on the Japanese Famicom, so I could play the better audio version, like the weeb I am. But
Spoiled. He's so spoiled.
spoil. I know. Uh, but overall, like I've already beat the game lots of times in the past, so for me this was just a sweet review. I hadn't played in a long time, so it was quite enjoyable to go back through. The game again, tight controls, sprite work is amazing. The bosses, I mean, once you know the tricks, they're so easy to kill generally because I mean they die in like basically a hit. It feels like, but
Humble brag.
I mean, so I played through it a couple times and just to get the feel again for it. But and of course it made floor chicken or wall chicken. Floor chicken I guess would be what's that game called? Anyways, but yeah, wall chicken. Get your
That's what I
health.
was calling it, wall chicken.
Yeah,
I
that
got corrected. A Muffin Man said it was pork.
pork. Well, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
As far as I know, everyone calls it wall chicken. But
that's
I
exactly what I call it. Yeah, I'm
I
not
thought it
wrong.
was turkey. I thought it was
I
turkey.
Nah,
mean,
nah.
turkey, chicken,
It
a
looks like a
fowl,
big old
definitely not
turkey
a
leg.
pig, right? Come on now.
Yeah, exactly. The wall chickens have it. We
Yep,
outnumber
yep.
The
Yep.
wall chickens have it. It's a turkey leg. Damn it.
But who keeps turkey in the wall? They keep chickens there.
Well, now, did we say that it was the Dracula's chef serving him the chicken, and he was like, "Nah, yeah, this is cool, man." And the chef would walk away, and he's like, "Oh, he's a bad cook. I don't want to eat this, but I don't want to make him feel bad." So he just put it in the wall,
Oh,
hid it.
I like
Like a
that. I like that.
3-year-old child.
Yeah, man. How was your chicken, Dracula? It was
Si-
good. It was really
it's
good.
sign like, oh, yeah, I want this rotted chicken.
So chucks it in the
Maggots.
wall.
How about you? How do you think about the gameplay there?
Oh, this game was a journey for me. So, yeah, when I was a kid, I could never get anywhere in this game. It would kick my ass all over the place. It was one of those things I was super disappointed when we rented it because I just
Wow,
couldn't play it. And well, I was like 6 or 7. You know what I mean?
like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I wish we were renting
Right,
NES
yeah, right,
games.
yeah, so.
Oh, if only.
If only.
So, when I first fired it up, I could only get to Frankenberry. You know, the Frankenstein with
Oh
the
man, with the little
Okay.
little
hunchback dude.
I'm like, what?
with the dude.
Do you know what? Oh, sorry. Do you know what the second form of Dracula is called for speedrunning? What?
Beast mode.
It's Cookie Monster. It's Cookie
Cookie.
Monster. It's the most. By the way, that second form of Dracula, most ridiculous look for a boss.
It's
So dumb.
pretty.
I've never made it that far. I don't
It's
know.
kind of
Like,
goofy looking. I will
Google the
say.
picture. It
I will
is.
say it's pretty funny looking.
There's a
It's
reason why they
not
call him Cookie
expected.
Monster.
That's for sure. It's
Yeah,
definitely
right.
not expected.
Giant
What
blue
were
thing.
they thinking?
Not even, you can't call it bat. It's not a bat.
Well,
I don't know what that is.
yeah, it's definitely a thing. So yeah, just a little tidbit for you.
All right, so eventually I figured out how to get through this game, and that's basically what it boils down to. It is a hard game. It's difficult, and they take their cheap shots, but there's a lot of exploits that you can use to get you through this game. So, like, one of the bosses I struggled with was, like I said, that Frankenberry guy, right?
Yeah.
So I found out the potion will, keep him in place,
Holy water.
Is
and
that
you
the
can,
holy water?
yeah, yeah, the
Yep.
holy
Yeah.
water. Pardon me, it's holy water, not potion. And yeah, so I would use that on him. I'd use that on a lot of bosses, actually.
Mm.
No, I mean
Death,
that's
death for sure. The
yeah.
holy water trick is the easiest way to beat him. Like, it's
Yeah, I'm
unbelievably
seeing a pattern
easy.
here now. Yeah.
The first time I beat him using the holy water, I got in, like, I didn't do it right, but I still managed to pull it off. Like, the proper way to do it, where you don't even get hit by the guy, is he always spawns in that top right corner. So you have the holy water, and hopefully you have the triple shot holy water, and then before he even shows up, you just start throwing the holy waters up on that ledge, and if you time it out just right, he'll stay there. He'll die. He'll never throw a sickle. You'll never take damage.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I
I'm
figured
I'm
that
gonna have to
out.
do a playthrough of that with the holy water.
Yeah, you
I
got to
want to
get
try
to him
this.
with the holy water. That's the
Yeah.
easiest way to beat him.
I
And
was one of those suckers that just kept using the clock. I thought this is awesome. It stops everything. I mean,
Yep.
well, you'd have to be an idiot not to use this, and of course, it doesn't work in the boss battles, does it?
It
Or at least it doesn't
actually
work with Frankenberry.
on some boss battles,
it
it does
does.
work.
So there
Yeah.
benefits of, since I already beat it a long time ago, and I used to watch speedrunners of this. So
Yeah.
some of the things like the clock works on the bat, and there's a trick
That's right.
with
Yep.
um the whip. As it's extended, it does like damage continuously every tick while you're like on a stair. So you could like put the clock
Ah.
up, hit the whip onto while you're standing on the stairs, and whip the uh bat, and he dies in basically one hit. Um,
Oh, these little tricks, man.
yeah, and then and like holy water again, like for most bosses, holy water is just gonna be your go to. It freezes Medusa. But mummies just use the crosses because it kills them in like basically one hit.
I used the holy water on the mummies too. I got
Yep.
down in that bottom right corner and I would just duck and holy water and whip like crazy. It usually works.
Yeah, I'm
Uh
gonna revisit it with the holy water. That's
yeah,
I've made up my
that's the
mind.
key, man. And so speaking of holy water, that part right before death, death's hallway, I believe is what they
Oof.
call it. Okay.
Yep.
That's where you got the Medusas coming at you from one
Mm-hmm.
direction, two directions sometimes, and you have those axe guys. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
so this was the hardest part in the game for me to figure out. And when I first started playing it through it, I'm sure you guys have all watched Angry Video Game Nerd, right?
Of course,
Everybody's
yeah.
Oh
heard
yeah.
of him out there, right? Okay, so
No,
y'all
never.
remember the Power Rangers episode and
Which one?
when he's playing Zoo Ranger
Uh,
and he gets to that part where he's like in the sand and like the drill thing is chasing him and you have to like punch, kick, down, up, block, punch, kick, down, like it's kind of like a ridiculous pattern.
yeah.
That's how I felt like trying to get through this
Going
hallway.
down the
It's
hallway.
like
Yeah.
jump, whip, duck, jump,
Yeah, I
whip,
know
duck, up,
exactly
jump,
what you're
down,
talking about.
up, quick, up, jump. I was like, man,
Uh,
this is madness. And I would either do it perfect and like not even get hit, or it would just be a miserable fail. Okay.
yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, there's got to be an easier way. So I was watching these axe dudes. Okay, you walk towards them, they back up. You back up, they walk towards you. So you throw a
Ah.
holy water on the ground, and they
Yep.
walk right into it. You throw
Ah,
two,
cheeky.
and they're dead. Yeah. So as soon as you come up that first flight of stairs, you just jump over the first Medusa head that comes out of the wall. Toss the holy water. He'll walk right into it. If you time it right, it'll only take one, and it'll kill him completely. But sometimes it takes two. So
And you managed to get through that hallway without any health lost.
on that part, yeah, yes,
Nice. Well done.
eventually. I it didn't when I actually beat this game. I didn't die until I got to Dracula.
Yeah.
Like that's like once you figure out the tricks, it's like that. Like you just
Yep. Yeah, holy
it's
water is
not that hard.
necessary for the entire like area. Realistically, so
Yeah.
you can if you throw the holy water on the feet of the axe throwers, you can just actually walk right through them. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
they'll
I
just
heard
die.
that too, but I didn't want to push my luck. Like, I want I wanted to beat the
It's
game. I was playing it safe, okay? Like
just like walk right on through. Just throw it down, walk through. You're safe.
yeah, you can do that. A couple of critiques I do have about the game. I just want to say jumping sucks, stairs sucks. Uh use the exploits and watch out for the cheap shots like getting knocked off ledges when you jump and stuff like that.
So I wouldn't consider most of the stuff you said were those aren't exploits. The exploit really is like bat skip and stuff like that. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If not, then don't worry about it. But yeah, those exploits, yeah, sure. But using holy water, it freezes enemies. You just need to know that after playing through it so many times that hey, it might freeze a boss and do a lot of damage.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you
So then,
use those. Yeah.
let me ask this question then. Castlevania, hard or broken?
I mean, to be honest with you, I don't even think it's that hard. I mean, it's difficult. Like today,
Mm.
it's hard, but it's in my opinion, it's a very medium game for how much you would replay a current game to beat it.
You know what? You know what?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Andy. Real quick. Hard or broken? What would you say? Castlevania.
Uh, After everything we just talked about, it feels like it's I mean, for a long time I thought it was broken and hard, but now after playing it and after discussing it, I feel like it's one of those things where they made it that way so that you would just constantly get your ass kicked until you would figure it out, or you'd come to school and you'd talk to your friends about it, and they'd be like, "No, you got to try this, or you got to try that," and then slowly but surely, over a long period of time or whatever, you would just learn the little tricks,
Yep.
just like Dark Souls or any of these other games. You would learn these little tricks, and it would just open up the doorway, and it would just be a lot easier. Like on the surface, it looks like a hard game, and it might even appear to be broken, but in reality, it's just you got to do the right thing at the right time to get through. You know what I mean?
Yep. It is
Exactly.
a
Exactly.
very repeatable thing. So that's,
Yeah.
in my opinion, if it's a repeatable and predictable, not in a bad way, just there's rules.
Yeah.
As long as it's following the rules, I don't think it's ever
Yep.
a broken game.
Exactly. On the outside, it can appear like that, but when you really learn it, it's not that hard.
Yep.
I think what saves this game is unlimited continues. If if
Yes.
this
Yeah.
if this game had been one of those games where you only get 2 continues or 3 continues, it
Oh, it
it
would never get
might
done.
it might have changed
Wait,
things.
does the Japanese version have no continues? Or I know it has
Oh, that's
continues.
savage.
Is
That I thought the Japanese version was supposed to be easier.
it? I honestly I don't know. I'm
I've heard
looking.
that too.
Yeah,
I think that might have been some AVGN. I think he said that.
sure.
Hmm.
Quite possible. Well, I think that just about covers it. Any final thoughts on Castlevania, Nick?
Uh, I mean, as a classic, it's not as hard as whatever you might have heard or think. Just go through, play it. If you like Dark Souls or any of those kind
It's
of,
like the precursor to that.
yeah, it's one of those games. You play it enough, you master it, and you'll be through it
Yep.
in 20, 30 minutes. It's a fun little romp.
Hmm.
And the music.
The music.
Yeah, that'll stick with
Yeah.
you, man. I agree. Like, I mean, it, it's one of those games where it's been a real learning experience just playing it recently. Like, I started off just being like, "Oh, this game, it's so crap. I hate it," and then watching you play it, Derek, and learning all these little things and having all these people go, "No, no, you got to do this. No, you got to do that." It's actually made it a really cool experience, and now I kind of like it.
Perfect. That's perfect.
I'm gonna play it and I'm gonna try and beat it with the holy water now that you
You
guys have told me
oh,
that.
you got it, man. Like I swear you'll have it. If you play this weekend, I bet you have it beat in a couple sit downs.
If I beat this game, I'm never gonna play games again. That'll be my achievement.
Retired
I'll
from
get you a
games
little medal.
forever.
I'll 3D
Yep.
print you little things. I beat it.
That's awesome. So yeah, this is my final thoughts on this one. Is classic game. If you struggled with this one as a kid, like I did, play it again as an adult, and you'll figure it out. It's not that hard. It's not that hard.
Mm.
You'll get it. You'll get it. You just
It
gotta try.
it looks scarier than what it is.
Yeah, you'll figure it. Well, pardon me. I think that about covers everything for today. So, guess we're going to go ahead and wrap things up for our season 2. But before we go, I do want to make an announcement about season 3. There's going to be a lot of big changes coming up in season 3. I'm working on a studio that's going to be real nice. You'll get some better quality stuff, some more content from us. I think you guys are really going to like it. We're going to do more of these topic discussions, have a few less guests, and also our good buddy here, Andy, will be joining us
Me?
permanently for all 10 episodes. He will be taking over third chair. Welcome to the show, Andy. It'll be nice to have you, man.
Oh, oh wow! Listen to the subscriber count drop.
Yep.
Bye, everybody.
Well, I mean, guys, he's only getting 5% of the profit. Don't worry.
There's
Eh,
profit.
Yeah, and 5% of it exactly.
Wait, no, didn't 5% of it just go to that band you were talking about?
I mean, I think that
There it
5%.
goes. Yep, royalties to that.
Andy, you feel the 5% goes to us because we're actually in debt, so you have to fund this now.
I gotta pay the bill for that. Okay.
Ever heard of
Yeah, it's
venture
only fair.
capitalism? That's you now.
Okay, what's that in Australian dollars? Hang on.
A lot more. I don't know.
Oh man. Oh, well, thank you for having me.
Hmm.
This is
Yes,
gonna be fun.
it's gonna be good, man. We're gonna have a lot of fun next season. We're gonna
Yeah.
cover a lot of great games. Maybe some not so hard games this time, huh? Maybe a little more
That'd be
fun.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really good at the games that aren't hard. I'm really good at them.
You know those fun games? Fun games are fun.
fun games are great. Let's try some of that, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so this is it for the next 2 months. We're gonna take our summer break, then we're gonna come back in September. We'll have some fresh new game for you.
Are you saying
We want to
when
give them a hint.
September ends, we'll have a new game?
Wake me up when September ends. There you go.
Now you gotta pay Green Day
Wait,
with
no,
my
no.
money.
Man.
Yeah, with your money.
Get on it, Andy. You
Ugh.
better start drawing some comics, buddy.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to start charging.
I mean, I can probably put a little thing here for a hint.
Yeah, put a little thing. We'll drop a little hint. I don't want to give it away, but I'll tell you what, I am going to play the hell out of it over the next 2 months. I really want to,
I mean, it's already low. I mean, I already have the cartridges and everything, so I'm good.
well, good for you. I'm gonna emulate it, but we'll get into that
I know you
in a
will.
couple months.
You damn
All
pirate.
right.
I'm just gonna play something else entirely. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, and to all of you out there, I just want to say thank you. This has been a great season 2. We really appreciate all your support. You guys are awesome. Thank you for coming out to the meet and stream. That was great time. We had a lot
That
of
was fun.
laughs there. Yeah, that was good. We're gonna probably do those every season finale. I think is what we'll do from now on. So yeah, that's it, folks. We will see you in September. So as always, please remember. The light at the end of the tunnel, maybe you. Goodbye, everyone.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.